If you dig under all of the snow, you might find some fragments of silicon.
All right, welcome to another installment of Fragments of Silicon. I'm your host, Adam. Joining me as always are Petty and Gallix. Right, let us get to the news, which I suspect is going to involve a lot of snow and cold. Oh, yes. Clairvoyancy, you see.
Yes.
Anyway, Gallix, why don't you start us off, since you're the furthest north?
Yeah, we got about 18 or so inches, of which most of which was on Sunday, but it continued well into Monday, so I still had to. So it was Sunday overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do a lot of cleaning on Monday, and we were home from work that day, and then we still got a little bit more during the day Monday after that, so I had to clear up a little bit more again on Tuesday, which thankfully we were again home, although for a different reason, because I guess the heat in the office was having some issues. Apparently, it's not always that it's broken, and sometimes that it's just cold anyway, because it's an older brick building. So I'm going to try to be asking about that in the future, because I don't mind working in an office if it's a little cold, but there's a difference between a little cold and or
So
also
I was gonna make a joke,
also
and
I'd
so
rather
everyone
not
is
be there if
frozen.
there's also I'd rather not be there if there's a bunch of people working on the plumbing and stuff or
Mm-hmm.
the heat stuff. So anyway, um, so yeah, that is kind of the main thing that's been on my mind for, I hope, obvious reasons. Over the last few days. Yeah, I think that's most of it. Thankfully, no no injuries, just a little bit of soreness for me and Mom. I told her not to bring the snowblower out on Tuesday when she was already a little bit sore. Because we don't really need the stuff around the back of the house done urgently. Although it is to the point where, since we already had some before this, there are some spots where we moved the snow to that need to have the snow moved away from them, so that more snow will be able to be moved there next time we get snow. Because it has also been significantly below freezing and will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. So, or at least for the next few days. So yeah, that's about what I'm at. Video game wise, I started making more of a concerted effort to make progress in Pokemon Legends ZA. I have gotten to the point where they let you cheat the letter rankings a bit.
Oh man.
Hopefully soon I will be able to feel comfortable to at least do a little bit of online play, because I do want to get those Mega Stones.
Right. Is there a limited time on that, or is it just at some
They have
point?
not had a season that does not have them in the prize pool yet, and in fact they generally have been getting lower level in the prize pool, so they've been, the ones that they've already announced have been getting easier to get, and each time they add a new one, that's the new one that you have to get like halfway up the ranks or so to get.
And is there like
I don't know.
are there like the mega Pokemon like in the decks like towards completion? Or how does
No,
that
it's
work?
just they're cool and I like them.
Oh, so it's more something you
so
want,
far,
not like you'll get you locked out of something like the shiny charm, like what older
it won't
games
lock
have.
you out of. It won't lock you out of complete. I don't know for sure, but I don't think the research uh tasks for mega evolving different Pokemon go high enough that you need them.
Right.
And even if they do, there's like extra.
Mm,
So
fair enough.
to get to the end of the research chain is what I mean. Because like there are tasks for doing a whole bunch of things that like after you do a number, it gives you another number to do. But I
Right.
believe they all stop at some point.
All
And I
right.
think
That's at least
Mega
decent.
Evolve
They could have
guy stops.
been real dickish about it, and
Mhm.
oh, you can't get some of the top tier rewards because you didn't pay up.
Yeah, I mean they want people to play multiplayer, and I don't
Yeah.
blame them for that. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's the main thing that I've been doing. So yeah, next, Petty.
It's been very cold. Over the entire weekend, we have had highs in the below zeros. So yeah, it's been fun, making sure all the heaters are going and doing our dangest to keep the pipes from freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be bad. We're having a little bit of a reprieve in that the high was up to 25 today, but the lows are still in, sub-zero categories. So that's why we had to make a little bit of a modification to the review thing, because I can't turn off my heater without, not great things happening. So there's that. As far as gaming goes, not really a whole lot new to report. We've still been cranking away at Digimon Story Time Stranger. We got to the cool part for anyone in the know. At least one of them.
Yeah, there might be more than one.
We did go where I guess they're treating it as kind of a point of no return, but they're letting you at least go back because of a side quest thing.
It's not the point of no return, but it's the signposted end, or a signposted near the end where they are give you a specific pointer to, hey, there's a whole you can go back and finish up side quests now.
Yeah. And also
and
the
if you
fact that
don't,
it's getting a lot harder. Like, I was getting butt kicked. But yeah, it's a good thing they gave you the side quests, and I'm assuming if you complete these side quests, not only does the experience you get make it easier, theoretically people will start showing up, wink wink, without going too much into spoilers.
It's actually pretty easy to miss some of the opportunity to do some of these side quests, actually, if you don't head back to the in-between theater at all.
Right. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have known if one of you guys didn't mention something. Because I would have just kept trying to plow through. And was wondering, how do I get to these side quests? Assuming there would be a story thing that pointed me back, not a side quest that unlocked essentially fast travel. So yeah, that's been fun. I do need to finish up some more side quests. There are a lot. There is no Time Stranger stream this week because we have Multiplayer Madness on Friday. Mayhem, that's right. I think we've been flipping in between that, but yes. We're doing multiplayer. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes. I had, as far as like other things, I need to see about getting a crown on one of my teeth that I had a root canal done, so that's going to be expensive. And fun. Fun being air quotes and about 5 miles tall. I did finally get my Digimon box I've been looking to get, so I got the alternate art Jupitermon, which is worth a pretty penny, and then some other cards I was looking for to build a deck or two. I also got my Digimon Liberator Debugger set that has the Liberator Tamers and their Mega Level Digimon partners in special arts that you can only get in that set. And it's one of those things where it has some of the cards that I want to use, but the cards look very, very good. So I'm like, damn it, I want to frame these, but I don't want to buy the cards again. So yeah, I mean, it's something, the life of someone who likes trading cards. Um, Also, apparently there might be a feral colony of cats in our garage that we may need to see about doing something about. Probably not right now because of how cold it is. They at least have some shelter, but we definitely don't want it to become a problem. So yeah, it's one of those things, keeping an eye on it, and then worst case, we do have a friend who is experienced in catching feral cats and is like friends with like the local rescues, so they can get homes. But it's just more of a matter of if they're going to be nuisance feral cats or if they're just going to be chill, hey, we'll eat all the mice in the area, don't worry about it, feral cats. Because we're fine with, chill feral cats. It's the ones that would be trying to attack us whenever we go over to the garage that would be a problem. Or that are constantly leaving droppings all over the inside of the garage. And yeah, I think that's it from me.
Never a dull moment over there, is it?
No.
Right. So that means it's my go.
Yep.
Like, well, I haven't been having the snow problems that my colleagues here have been encountering, but it's still been pretty cold. You know, like it's currently 40 degrees outside, which, yeah, it's not sub-zero, but that's still pretty damn cold, especially for Florida.
Right.
And and it has been getting into like the about freezing, a bit lower some days. And even during the day it's been in the 50s, which once again is really fucking cold for this area of the world.
Right.
So, yeah. And to compound that, it's this has been coming in fronts. Like during the weekend, it was actually up to like 80 degrees. So we've been having a lot of temperature variances. And you know what that equals? People getting sick. Like, thankfully not me, because I had my shot.
Mm.
Like, so putting that aside, I am pleased to announce that this week that the row with my pharmacy has been sorted out this time. You snicker, but like clockwork, it's this particular medicine. This one always has problems getting filled.
Mm-hmm. Believe me,
And I'm not
I've
sure
had
why.
that
It's not like it's a
problem.
controlled substance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, the doctor's office isn't communicating with the pharmacy or vice versa. And it takes a week to get things straightened out. Meanwhile, I've ran out of that particular medicine and have to actually go down to the pharmacy and get an emergency supply, which happened. Like, not fun. Like, in fact, rather aggravating. Like, but once again, thankfully, that's been put to rest. In gaming news, let's see. Had to stop playing Medal of Honor because the game kept breaking. Like, the AI would stop working. Literally, like, my AI companions would stop moving and I'd be locked.
Oh, it's one of those ones where you have to bring the companion with you. They can't just like
no,
as long as they're not dead, it would check mark.
Yeah, it was scripted AI, and since they weren't moving to where they needed to be, the event flag wouldn't be clocked. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm not sure if this is an operating system thing, but I'm like, I don't care that much about the game. Certainly not enough to continue looking into the problem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, moved on to the Tomb Raider Anniversary Collection 1 through 3. And it was the pretty typical Tomb Raider experience that I have with the classic set. I play for a couple of levels, get aggravated, and then move on to something else. This has been the case with Tomb Raider, at least the PlayStation 1 era games, since like the PlayStation 1 era. Like, I've never been able to get into, like classic Tomb Raider, even when they were new. Like, I understand that this was the best that they could do in the constraints of the PlayStation 1, the PC, and 1996. Like, this is literally the year where we get, Crash Bandicoot 1 and Super Mario 64. And they have to keep building it like Tomb Raider 1 because not everyone on the PlayStation has a goddamn analog control setup.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't think they ever released the DualShock as a pack end for the PS1.
Right, and the only game that actually requires a DualShock is Ape Escape 1.
Right.
And like, the point is, maneuvering 3D space with a D-pad still blows chunks. I understand the circumstances, but it doesn't nullify the aggravation after the 30th time I fall off a place because the goddamn D-pad is fucking wobbly. Like,
or it's doing a weird camera thing where camera's a little off kilter, so when you think you should be going straight, you're going slightly diagonal.
It's either the camera or Laura herself, because it's tank controls. Because once again, they couldn't do analog controls, and they say they have analog controls in this game or in this modern re-release. They're not actual analog controls.
Oh, they're the pseudo basically remapping to digital.
Yes, exactly that. So that means, if you move the analog stick, it's full bore. There's no degrees of pressure.
Right.
And by the way, that's what happened with analog control with the classic Tomb Raiders back in the day as well. Like, I remember using the analog control in Tomb Raider 3, at least the demo, and it's like, this is horrible because it's just digital controls mapped to an analog stick. It doesn't actually work like you would think it would work.
Right.
So now I'm playing a game, and this is an actual game that exists on Steam called Tesla versus Lovecraft.
All right.
Like, it's the kind of game we would review for the show, but it's not something we ever got for the show. It's a twin stick shooter, classic style. After dealing with Vampire Survivor likes, I forget how rapid these things are.
Mm.
I'm like how bite-sized, your classic style twin stick shooters are. Anyway, so I think that'll about do it for the news. So merrily we shall roll along to the interview portion of the broadcast, and we've got a doozy this week, because I can't think this has happened before, surprisingly, given how long this show's been going. But for the first time, we are going to have an interview via interpreter. So hopefully this goes well. So with that in mind, I want to welcome to the program Isaías Arrué of Panpipe Studio and his interpreter Daniel Charpentier of Whitethorn Games.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having us.
No problem. No problem.
Hello.
It's good to have you. Right. So how we like to get started, we like to get to know the people behind the games, the studios and whatnot. And we begin this journey by asking this particular question. What got you interested in video games, both on a personal and a professional level?
All right, let me just ask Isaías and then I can let you guys know what he says. Isaías dice que quieren preguntar qué es lo que te trajo a los videojuegos, la industria de los videojuegos y qué es lo que cómo has estado haciéndole de ahora.
Bueno, en un principio, bueno, siempre desde chico en realidad he estado como un poco ligado a los videojuegos y lo que me trajo a entrar como en la industria es básicamente empezar a trabajar primero como músico dentro de proyectos pequeños de videojuegos y de eso de a poco como que me empecé a meter en lo que es el desarrollo ya en sí mismo, como lo que es programación y diseño de juego y hasta que eventualmente como que decidí pasar de ser solamente músico, a ser solamente la música, digamos, en proyectos a desarrollar ya juegos que sean propios. Eh, y eso, y básicamente hoy en día ya como que pude lograr tener un proyecto más estable con el que estamos trabajando ahora, que es Colorbound. Pero eso sería un resumen.
Okay. He said since he was little, since he was a kid, he always liked video games, and how he started in the industry was as a composer. He used to make music for video games, and got really passionate about it, and that led him to get interested in development, and that's how he started getting involved in the development of different like video games and getting to learn about it. And as of now, he got the opportunity to focus on a project, and he did a game jam, which is where Colorbound came from. And now we found him at Gamescom Latam, and how he's now very happy to be able to finally focus himself on developing this project.
Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, that's a fairly typical story from people we have on the program. You know, they played video games from some point in childhood, and that passion kept alive in some sort of capacity till they were able to develop games themselves. I am a bit interested in the video game composer section of that interpolation, as in what games has he worked on in his capacity as a video game composer? Anything we would know?
Isaías dice que eso es una historia muy parecida. Obviamente, cuando uno está pequeño, les gustan los juegos y eso se hace que te lleven a estar en esa industria. Pero les importa saber lo que es lo que fue la música y si has trabajado en algún videojuego que ellos sepan como parte de la música y todo eso.
Mm. No, no creo. Porque realmente desde que empecé a trabajar con músicos siempre han sido proyectos pequeños, muchas veces de desarrolladores pequeños que incluso nunca sacaron los proyectos. Entonces como que hacía los trabajos más como por encargo y después el proyecto salía y a veces no. Y de hecho como que la mayoría no salía como... El juego no salía finalmente, sino que la música quedaba ahí, pero el juego no salía. Entonces, en general siempre han sido como proyectos pequeños, así que dudo mucho que conozcan algunos, realmente. Además que tampoco han sido tantos. Pero eso, de hecho es como un poco la razón por la que me llevó después a intentarlo por mi parte, porque realmente como que tampoco estaba dando tanto fruto, digamos, en ese sentido. Entonces, al final decidí intentarlo por mi cuenta, el desarrollar un juego.
He said that you might not know them because they were very small projects, and that was one of the things that he would just get orders to like create music for a small project, and a lot of times they did not really ever release. Those games never like made it to launch, which kind of like made him motivate him to actually get into development and like do something that where he could not only like work on the music but also develop the game. And again, I guess that was a good decision for him because now hopefully like Colorbound is looking great.
I'm like, he's certainly seen it through, at least so far. No, because I will note at time of broadcast here, Colorbound is not out, at least not the full
Mhm.
version. It's got a demo, which I believe we are showing on screen right now, but it's still
No,
it
yeah.
hasn't hit the finish line. So,
Yeah, it's still getting there, but it's looking good, and I feel like it's definitely, better than it's definitely a bigger project than what he has worked on before.
it makes sense if like if he was doing like micro projects and game jam level stuff. We found that's often the case, especially as, let's call it, game jam is prototyping. And with that in mind, how long has Isaias been working on Colorbound here?
¿Cuánto tiempo has estado trabajando en Colorbound?
Considerando el tiempo de la Game Jam o ya el desarrollo como desde lleno.
Considera el tiempo en Game Jam.
Bueno, debe haber sido entonces desde abril del año pasado. Así que han sido junio, julio, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre, enero.
Casi un año.
Sí, casi un año. Como 10
Okay.
meses.
He has been working on Colorbound since April of 2025. So it's almost going to be a year in April.
Okay. Gotta admit that was less time than I was expecting. Only because we have so many people on this program who tell us routinely that this project started 2-3 years ago. So
Oh, I understand. I mean, obviously, I work for Whitethorn Games, and we're a publisher, and we understand how long development takes. So we're pretty impressed by the progress that he has made since we decided to sign. To be honest, when we first got a look at the project, it was only like 3 weeks old, and it's amazing to see like how far it has gone so far, like as of now, and it's not even a year since then. So yeah, he's a pretty good guy. He's like making some really good progress on it for sure.
And is it the solo dev project? As in, is Isaías here the only developer on the game, or has he got other people helping him?
Isaías, tú eres el único desarrollador en el juego, ¿verdad?
No, o sea, no, hay un equipo, sí. Somos 4 personas, solamente que son 3 artistas y bueno, yo hago lo demás, que sería el diseño del juego, programación y música. Pero hay un equipo de artistas que se dedican a toda la parte visual del juego, básicamente. Son
Pero
3.
tú haces todo lo que es los códigos y
Eh,
todo eso, ¿no?
claro, programación,
Okay.
diseño del juego y música, sí.
Okay. It's a team of 4. There's 3 artists, and he does everything that is, the programming, design, and music, and then the artists help with like all the visuals and the rest.
Okay. Okay. It's always interesting to hear the divisions of labor on these projects, if one exists. That would also go to explaining how it's made so much progress in a year. Like, 'cause sometimes these kind of games have like one person. They're doing everything, or nearly everything. Anyway, so this may be a hard question to quantify, but it is an important one to ask. What is Colorbound? Like, what is this game? Who are you? What are you doing? That sort of thing.
Dice que esa sería una pregunta como difícil de intensificar, pero la pregunta es como, ¿qué es Colorbound? ¿Quién eres? Como, o sea, poder explicar todo lo que es.
El juego, claro. Em, bueno, básicamente Colorbound es un juego de plataformas. O sea, en realidad de puzzle y plataformas, principalmente puzzle, en el que controlas a un niño que se llama Anku, que pierde a su abuelo y lo que tiene que hacer, su misión, digamos, es recuperar, no recuperar, sino reunir a todos los músicos que pertenecían a la banda musical de su difunto abuelo. Que entonces lo que hace, emprende este viaje un poco para poder reunirlos y hacer una especie de concierto de despedida para su abuelo que falleció. Esa es como la misión, digamos, narrativa de Anku y del jugador. Y para justificar ese viaje, básicamente uno tiene que ir resolviendo puzzles a medida que va avanzando y conociendo los personajes en el mundo.
Okay. In a quick kind of summary, I would say it's a platform game. Obviously puzzles, where you play as Anko, who's a little boy that just lost his grandfather, and his grandfather was part of a band. So part of the path of the game is that you go and have your mission is kind of to reunite the the grandfather's bands, like the member of the bands. So and to do that, you have to like complete all these puzzles and get like to meet these members, and ask you to like bring them back to do like to bring him back and like do like, I don't want to say a funeral, but mostly like to remember the grandfather. And as you like progress throughout the game, you find different kind of puzzles. You get to find new mechanics, and also like learn a little bit about like listen to new music, and learn a little bit about like the grandfather and like the band that he was part of.
Okay, that's certainly a unique premise for a puzzle platformer. And I'm reading on the Steam page here that apparently Colorbound here draws inspiration from the Amira culture of the Andes. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Ujú. Dice que Colorbound tiene inspiración en lo que es la cultura. ¿Cuál es la cultura que pusiste?
Aymara, sí,
Aymera.
Aymara.
¿Qué es Aymera? ¿Qué le puedes decir sobre eso?
Sobre la cultura,
Sobre la inspiración, la
mm,
cultura, lo que te dijo hacer eso.
claro. eh, bueno, claro. O sea, esta cultura es como igual se conoce harto acá porque es de la zona justamente como entre medio. La zona andina acá que abarca como Chile, Bolivia, Perú y Argentina. Entonces una cultura, digamos, conocida. Y a mí siempre me llamó la atención como en especial la música que tienen. Entonces como
Ujú.
que quise inspirarme un poco en eso porque quería hacer un juego que tuviera esa que ocupara, digamos, esa parte musical de esa cultura e intentar básicamente hacer un juego que tuviera sentido con eso, que tuviera los instrumentos que usan, ¿no es cierto? La melodía y combinar eso con una historia que también fuera de la misma cultura y así que todo tuviera como sentido, ¿no es cierto? Cohesión. Pero en realidad es más que nada como que me interesaba hacer algo que fuera como de la región, digamos, ¿no es cierto? Como latino. Y se da el caso también que me gusta justamente esa cultura por la música. Entonces, fue como un poco la razón por la que decidí implementar esta cultura en el juego. Y eso.
Um, he says that the culture Aymara is a very known culture in Chile, Bolivia, and Peru. And he was very attracted to the music that they always that it's associated with that culture. So when creating Colorbound, he wanted to incorporate something that embrace not only the music but also like to be part of like to embrace the culture. And since he's from Chile, it meant a lot for him to like make something that kind of reflected that. And he just always liked it. And then he it was mostly like just that, like he wanted to make something that like not that reflected the music and use the instruments that that culture uses as well, and like kind of put it in a game and make something unique that also represented being like Latino and having like these kind of like cultures that people see themselves with or that people sometimes forget about. And yeah, I think that's
Mm,
mostly it.
certainly understandable since, how do I phrase this? Um, yeah, Chile is not a place where we see too many games from. I'm not saying it's bereft of gaming culture or games developed there, but compared to even let's say Latin America, Brazil, it's far smaller. And
Yeah.
with that in mind, it is worth asking, especially given our audience, what is the music of the Amira? What instruments do they use? What did it sound like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Okay. Isaías dice que para la audiencia y como no ven tantos juegos que ese tipo de personas, no ven tantos juegos que vienen de Chile y no están tan asociados con lo que es la cultura, que les gusta preguntar qué, qué tipo de instrumentos usa los Aymara y que cómo es la música, cómo suena, qué los hace distintos.
Mm. Em, bueno, se conoce un poco como música andina, digamos. Acá en la región se conoce como música andina, que es básicamente música que viene como de la cordillera de los Andes, por eso se llama así. Y ocupa normalmente instrumentos típicos como del folclore, que sería como el bombo legüero que se llama, que es un bombo de una membrana de cuero, digamos. La quena, que es como una especie de flauta de caña. Y el charango también, que es súper típico. De hecho, es como. El charango se parece un poco al instrumento. Es muy random. Se parece un poco al instrumento que ocupan en el soundtrack del The Last of Us. El Ron Rocco que se llama. Pero bueno, es como un detalle muy random en realidad. Pero bueno, ese, el charango, y también ocupan la zampoña, obviamente, la panpipe. Son como instrumentos súper típicos de esa música, digamos. Y bueno, y hay más cosas también, más instrumentos que son como percusivos, como los shakes o las maracas que se llaman acá, y palos de agua y esas cosas. Pero sí, en general es como música, mm, claro que ocupan como muy acústica, pues, ¿no es cierto? Como puro instrumentos eh, acústicos y de caña de azúcar, se podría decir. Pero
Okay.
eso.
He said that the music is mostly known as like the music from the Andes, Andean music, and they use a variety of different instruments. Um, one of the most known is kind of like the maracas, which is like rumba shakers. I don't know. And then they use like a lot of other instruments that are made like the sugar canes. Um, and they have another one that it's like covered in leather. But overall, it's like very different instruments. But yeah, the culture music is mostly known as like Andean because again, it comes from the Andes. And there is it's very the sound of it is very like acoustic. That's the best way to like describe it. Just think is like yeah, it's just very acoustic. Especially again, it's mostly just made out of the instrument. There's not like a lot of singing or anything like that. So I think that would just be like what differentiates it or like makes it stand out.
Okay. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask about the Panpipe, given that the literal name of the studio is Panpipe Studio. How
Yes.
prominent does
Yeah,
that fact?
that's part of that too. I forgot about mentioning that, but he mentioned that that's why also the studio is named that.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Now, shifting focus to the color of Colorbound. How is color used in this game?
¿Cómo es el color? Ahorita vamos a cambiar el tema. ¿Cómo es que los colores o el color se usa en el juego?
Em, bueno, básicamente la regla principal del juego es que el jugador solamente puede interactuar con las cosas que puede ver, con las cosas que son visibles. Entonces, para poder cambiar la visibilidad de un objeto en el nivel, en el entorno, uno tiene que pintarlo, básicamente. Porque si uno pinta un objeto del mismo color que el fondo, este objeto desaparece. Y si uno cambia el color del fondo, ese objeto vuelve a aparecer, ¿no es cierto? Porque al final todo depende de cuál sea el color del fondo para poder hacer aparecer o desaparecer algún objeto. Y así es como se usa el color, básicamente. Como que más adelante empiezan a aparecer más mecánicas, pero la idea principal, el concepto principal es que uno juegue con los colores para poder activar y desactivar objetos con los que pueda interactuar, básicamente.
Okay. So the way the color is used in Colorbound is that you have to use it towards what you see and what you cannot see in the game. Mostly what you see. So like you would collect the colors as you go through the level, and then you have to interact with either like objects or the ground or even the background of it, and you can to reach the goal. So for example, sometimes you can color an object the same color that the background is, and that would make that object disappear. In the same way, if you colored the background a different color, then it might bring out an object that you weren't able to see there before. It's all about that. As you progress through the game, and you get to see different mechanics, but color really is how you like interact with the objects in there. It's very like watercolor kind of game. But even sometimes like when you color like a certain object, it might create like a gravity weight into it, making it fall, as you might see in like some of the trailers. So that's kind of like how you use the color in the game.
Okay. And I assume that also extends to the puzzles in this game?
Yes. So there's times that you might have to again make a object disappear by coloring it the same color as the background, so that you can move forward. You just have to use the colors the best way possible to reach your goal, which is a flag and some things. Or sometimes you can use a llama, but you have to play with the objects that are visible for you and color them accordingly for you to reach that goal.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Will there be other colors that do special properties other than the blue one, or is that still being worked on?
Isaías, que sí va a haber otros tipos de como colores especiales. ¿Tú sabes cuando a veces si pintas algo como de azul o eso, lo hace
Claro.
caer a los objetos?
Sí. No, sí. Hay pensadas mecánicas para otros colores en el futuro. Pero no está en la
Yeah.
demo, pero sí. Hay.
Yeah. Eso creo que esto. Yes, there's going to be other mechanics, and there's going to be other mechanics that would function with colors as you later on.
All right.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. So how far along is Colorbound, or rather, how far away is this game from release?
¿Qué tan lejos está Colorbound de salir?
Puedo decir como una fecha. Bueno, no puedo decir la fecha,
No puedes decir fecha. No.
pero digamos que pronto, o segunda mitad de. ¿Se puede decir eso? ¿Se puede decir como segunda mitad del año?
Ajá.
O es muy específico.
No, eso está bien. Colorbound is doing pretty good in progress. It's probably we're shooting for it to be out by the second half of this year.
Okay. Not too far away. In terms of release window. Like, and are you going to be launching on PC only, or do you have other platforms in mind?
There's definitely, we want to reach as much audience as possible, so we're still looking to bring it to your favorite platform, whatever that is. But it would not be just PC.
All right. So pretty much everything that's active right now, I'm assuming.
Major platforms, yes.
Well, this is a further quantification, but does major platforms also include mobile?
I wouldn't. I would say keep updated with that. It's still we still figure it out in development. So let's get through that, and then maybe we can start looking at some that. But I'll say just keep updated. This could be a possibility for sure, depending. Don't want to promise anything yet, but
Fair enough. Let me see. Has price been determined yet?
still talking about that with the team. We're trying to figure out the best price point for our audience, and given the current economy and market, I think we want to figure something that is good for players.
Makes
So no,
sense.
yeah, price point is not determined yet.
Okay, fair enough. Thankfully, there's still some time to figure that one out. And let's see. I suppose my final question is for you specifically, but what is Whitethorn doing, if anything, in a developmental capacity? Like, are you helping with translations?
Oh, so we are working again as a publisher. We basically do everything else that is not the development of the game. Um, so what that means is we help with marketing, we help with quality, with QA. We also provide localization and porting for the game, as well as making sure that they reach the better, like the bigger audience, like any audience that we can reach, and like set that for the game to be successful. So yeah, that's basically, we offer a lot of things. Most of it, I think, what developers care about, or that it's more prominent, is marketing, localization, porting, QA, and any other kind of support that the developer needs from us.
About what I figured. And
Obviously, funding too.
right. And yeah, it's good to have a rep from Whitethorn on the program after so many years. Anyway.
Thanks.
Right. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues here to see if they have anything further for you. Or Isaias.
I think
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, I want to thank both of you for being with us here today to talk about Colorbound. It's been a wonderful and enlightening conversation. Certainly a new experience for us, I think. And I think it
Have you
went
guys
rather
checked out Colorbound?
yeah, we've been or at least Petty here has been playing the game while we've been talking.
Mhm.
So
Oh, nice. How are you liking it?
I've been liking it pretty well. I was crept up on the last puzzle, but that's mostly because I've been paying attention to the conversation to have a time to think
Yeah.
on it.
Good. Honestly, I've every time I get we get a new build, we have to try it out. It gets stuck. It's just so good. But I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And again, thank you guys for having us. Isaías, creo que ya eso es todo lo que van a pedir. ¿Tienes algo que decir?
No, en realidad, gracias por la invitación y nada, pues, ojalá les guste el jueguito, si es que lo pueden probar, pero sí, más que nada, gracias en realidad por la invitación y eso.
Okay. Isaías is just saying that thank you so much for the invitation to be on your podcast, and he really hopes that you guys enjoy the game. And if you have any feedback, please do let us know.
all right. All right, so the game is Colorbound. It is coming second half of 2026, let's say. Though you can try it right now as it has a demo on Steam. And by that same measure, you can go and wishlist it today.
Yes.
Indeed. So, Petty, when you are in position, play us to the next segment. All right, so welcome to the topic of discussion. So we are in part 3 of the year in review. And no matter how far we get, this is going to be the last part because, well, January is ending and game topics are finally coming in.
Yeah.
In fact, I have two things lined up for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. The only reason why we kind of put the kibosh on one in the writing room because it was still developing.
I'm like, make that 3 things, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh no.
No, they're not bad things.
Okay.
In fact, 2 of the 2 things I'm thinking of are good. Well, at least the Disney Afternoon collection. The Virtual Boy, that's a bit more complicated. Now, these are just a couple of things that have arisen.
There's one good thing about the Virtual Boy thing, at least.
I'm like, but you see what I'm talking about here.
Right.
Like, we got to talk about the Virtual Boy in the next few weeks because that's launching on the Nintendo Classics. That's why we're putting this in the freezer, because actual things are happening now. Like we're getting back into the regular flow of news because January is kind of the dead zone for a lot of stuff.
Right.
So with that in mind, where did we leave off? Like I'm thinking like May.
Actually, no. I think we were end of March.
Jeez.
Because I don't remember Isla Jura being talked about.
No. I remember glancing over that mainly because it's a fragment of a game. I do
Fair enough.
It's a mini game. No, I distinctly remember.
I'm seeing. Damn. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Rendering Ranger.
Here we go. Here's the first week we didn't talk about. Transport and Logistics Simulator. Exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
That's really all I got for it. Petty, you had the House of Da Vinci, and this is a significant one, isn't it?
Insofar as we've played way too many.
Yeah, I was about to say we can probably lump
franchise.
all of them here together and save some time.
And also the House Tesla.
Yeah,
because that was a different figure, but it was still the same game.
Yeah, it's a collection of basically desktop fidget toys with a story that ties them together.
I was gonna say there is a story there.
Yeah, I was about to say that with a story that ties us together, and
but
it's very clunky when you're not messing with the machinery, so to say.
Yeah, it's like we all played at least one of these, and we all had the basic same conclusion. They were not very good. Like, in my estimation, if you want to play this but good, go and play the Room series.
Moving on, I'd get that.
Moving on, Galax had Iconia Defenders.
Let me double check. Yeah, I keep thinking this one was a different one.
It's definitely a relatively generic title.
No, I remember this. It was I don't remember what the game feel was, but I remember.
I think this was
the graphics were just a little bit too simple to be appealing.
This I remember because I think this is one of the more egregious cases of AI usage we faced last year. As in, like it mentioned it was built partially with Gen AI. I think.
Right. The translations were not great.
They were an interesting concept.
Yeah. And finally, Utopia Must Fall. This was the Paratrooper clone. And we actually did we actually had the publisher of the game on the program later on in the year. Really not much more to say about that. Fast forwarding, I think Galax this week you were at the convention, So just 3 games here. Let's see, Punk Wars. I remember it being a pretty bad Civilization, Age of Wonders clone, really.
Yeah, it was. I was about to say it was more of Age of Wonders than Civ.
But like I wanted to like it, but dear God, this game just like a fucking campaign would take forever, even for a 4X game, just because the AI wasn't good and just the mechanics were not well thought out. Petty, your game was Fur and Fables.
It was a similar to Vampire Survivors-esque game, but its major conceit was instead of getting new weapons, you got new party members, and these party members could die, which would mean you could lose those powers, but necessarily lose the match until all of your party members had died. It was conceptually interesting, but I was just I think I was just coming off of playing a lot of Vampire Survivors, so I was kind of just burned out on the genre as a whole.
Unfortunate, because the Vampire Survivor likes keep coming.
I'm
In fact,
aware.
I just got another one of these today.
This is a conceptually interesting game, and I may look at it again after it comes out of early access, because I just pulled it up. It's still in early access.
Right.
So I may poke it again and see if post early access they've fixed my issues. Or at least alleviated them in some way.
Yeah. Let me see. Stealth Bastard Deluxe. Yeah. This was an interesting game. Didn't really like it too much. Because it focused on stealth, but I don't know. It didn't really click with me, but maybe that's because stealth mechanics aren't my favorite in general. Plus, the sequel was better. Let's see. Preserve. Yeah, this was an interesting one. One of the more unique games that we covered in the past year. Because this was the hex-based puzzle nature building game with cards. As I said, certainly wasn't like anything else I played last year, and considering a lot of the things that we cover in a given year, that is actually saying something. Like, the indie circuit is certainly a wellspring of creativity. Like, it's not immune to trends, certainly. Like in the case of this, we've got hex grids and especially the usage of cards, but it's still like nothing else I've ever played. So let me see. Geez, I think right. Petty, your game was Stellar Warfare.
I was not a fan. It kept breaking on me. Like the AI of it kept breaking on me. It was borderline unplayable. I could only get about an hour of it before I got so frustrated.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Galax, your game was the 1.0 version of Nova Drift, a game that has actually appeared in our review queue a couple of times in early access. Like, they just kept sending the code.
It sure is extremely elaborate asteroids.
That's a good way of putting it. Really a good nutshell there. And let's see. Great God Grove. Jeez. Like, this one's kind of hard to sum up. Now, it's another narrative adventure from fellow traveler. like a Latin American bent, and like it's got a lot of virtual reality segments in it that are kind of intrusive. Like, you don't have to play in VR, but you can tell they were very much built for VR. You know, we encounter a game like that every now and again. Like, it was good, but I played better from the publisher. Not just last year, but this year. You know, we just covered one of their games a couple weeks ago that I liked better than this. Let's see. And moving on to Stratogun. I am drawing a complete blank.
I am too, honestly.
I'm gonna have to look this one up.
I guess while you do that, my game Portal Fantasy, it was.
Oh no!
Mhm.
Okay, no, I remember this one. This was like a 3D version of Battlezone. Yeah. Once again, I don't think I liked the graphical stylings of this one too much. Anyway, yeah, Petty, your game was Portal Fantasy.
It's a poor Pokemon clone, and apparently it was also at least at one point an NFT game, which is probably part of the reason why I didn't like it.
Right. And Golix, your game was the House of Da Vinci 2, which I think we already summed up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm completely blanking on Blight Knight. You Are Not Safe.
Same.
And okay, looking it up. Okay, no, I remember this game now. This was the top-down zombie survival game. Another AI casualty. Probably the least egregious because it had this radio where it had a couple of songs that were very obviously AI generated. Like, just some of the worst garbage you could ever hear. This is going to culminate, by the way.
Me, who knows the future.
Yes. And let me see. So many windows. Yeah. Let's see. Traxion. This is another franchise we covered over the course of the year. Really weird release order. Traxion, what I can say, it's barely a game. The sequels, if nothing else, do have content on their side. If not all that much. Let's see. Petty, your game was Rat Shaker. I remember this one.
Yeah, I was not a fan. I'm pretty sure this was one of those things that someone like Nick Nocturne or some of the other like ARG type people who like pick stories apart could probably get more into this than I did. I just couldn't get past the whole let's torture a rat to make the story work. I get there was symbolism and stuff in there. I just didn't like it on principle.
On the upside, I guess, it did freak out somebody who was high. Like, they left a comment on our YouTube page about that.
Aim to please.
Yeah. Anyway. Golix, your game was Fantasy Commander, Fascination of Evil.
I'm looking at this and I don't really remember it in any significant way.
Yeah.
Aside from it looks a little bit like a Final Fantasy Tactics type. Oh no, I remember now. The play was not good.
Mm.
I just remembered getting stuck in a loop of having a pain in the butt trying to actually finish anything.
Similarly, we have The Voidness, Lidar psychological survival horror, aka the world's only Scanner Sombre clone.
Congratulations.
I'm like seriously. If you've played Scanner Sombre or know what that is, you know what this is, and you've probably played it. And Scanner Sombre was better. Now let's see. Probably my runner-up for Game of the Year was Teslagrad 2, which is a pretty neat little Metroidvania.
Oh, yeah,
style.
that one.
Yeah, which has some really gorgeous animation. In terms of like Metroidvania structure, it's nothing too fancy, nothing too major. But it is more substantial than the first Teslagrad game. In terms of content, quality, I'd also say it's a bit above Teslagrad 1. Like if you have to play one Teslagrad game, I would make it Teslagrad 2. It's just really the standout feature here is the graphics and animation. Let's see. Petty, your game was Flora and Fang, Guardians of the Vampire Garden.
I believe this was a Bubble. Yeah, this was a Bubble Bobble clone. Not really a whole lot to say on it. It's just Bubble Bobble, but you're playing as vampire twins to protect your garden from flies and other types of insects. I didn't hate it, but I never was a big fan of Bubble Bobble to begin with, so it just didn't really catch with me.
I see. Gollix, your game was Undivine.
I remember this one, but I think I forget why. I think it was generally good, but I had some trouble getting far because the combat was really rough for a Metroidvania.
And let's see,
I don't remember the details. Sorry.
It's fine. Look at how many games we cover in a year. There's going to be some memory gaps. Me especially, because I cover 2 games a week. That being said, I definitely remember the Takeover. That is the indie walk and brawl, brawler, beat 'em up, whatever you want to call it. Game like Final Fight or Streets of Rage, something in that mold. That was produced by Skeleton Man Matt McMuscles. And unfortunately to Skelly Boy over there, it's all right, but I could name a couple of other indie brawlers that are much better than this. Not the least of which is Streets of Rage 4.
Which did they come out fairly close together?
Not like Streets of Rage 4 came out like a year later. Maybe 6 months. Like this came out in 2019. Another indie brawler that I liked much more was Fight and Rage. It's a game we haven't reviewed for the show. Just remember liking that a lot more. Let's see, Gunhilder. I barely remember anything about this. Remember a lot of crystals. Moving on. Petty, do you remember Zombies Overloaded?
Yeah, we double reviewed this, if you recall.
Yes. For some reason, they sent us a Nintendo Switch code, and then months later, they sent us a Steam code.
It's one of those, it was okay. Definitely not something I would want to throw down, my personal money on.
It was all right for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it really only had a smattering of content for like maybe 5 hours max.
Yeah.
I'm being very generous.
And on Switch, they're still wanting $7 for it, which, I probably wouldn't throw that down on there, especially because I believe the Steam version is like what, $5, if that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Alex, your game was Forgotten Fields.
Yeah, good vibes, kind of janky controls.
Mm.
It's not a ton there.
Yeah, let's see, Kulbra and the Souls of Limbo, another fellow Travelers published title. I liked this game better than, geez, I've already forgotten its name. Right. Trying to remember what it was, and we just covered it too.
Yeah. Anyway, like
Yeah, Great God Grove.
Yeah.
It was kind of in the same mold, but I like this one better. It also shared the same sound library, and that really threw me off. Like, especially the exact same Banjo-Kazooie pseudo talk sounds. Like, anyway, moving forward, let's see, Necrosmith 2.
Wasn't that the roguelike?
Like roguelike tower defense thing.
Yeah, another one of those. It's not everything needs to be mixed with roguelike. That's another one that didn't play well together.
Yeah.
An attempt was made. Unfortunately, it's not peanut butter and chocolate. It's like peanut butter and motor oil.
Jeez, you have more to say about this than I do. Like, I'm just kind of like, it was a game that existed.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of which, Petty, you had Warhammer 40,000 Speed Freaks.
Broken piece of shit.
Galax, you had X Zodiac.
If you like Star Fox 64, it's a pretty decent not Star Fox 64. Otherwise, it's still a pretty decent not Star Fox 64, only I'm bad at that.
All right.
I think I remember it being a little bit unforgiving by my standards, particularly.
Yeah. And the House of Da Vinci 3, which we've already spoken about collectively. So we'll wrap things up with this week. Let's see, Fig. I think literally developers' first platformer here. Like, the word I can describe it with, basic. Not bad, but very, very basic.
Yeah. And now we're going into mine.
The reason why we've kept on here, because undoubtedly the worst game of the year.
Fuck this AI piece of shit to hell. Whoever thought this was a good idea should be fired and never allowed to touch any sort of game development tools ever again.
Yeah. And
I probably put more care into that than the people who developed the game.
Well, it wasn't developed.
I know. Fair.
Like, develop requires human hands.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Galax, you had Deathless, the Hero Quest.
This was a Slay the Spire like before I really knew much about what Slay the Spire was like.
I remember from what I looked into it, I thought that was pretty all right, but at the same time,
I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
But I did not know much about Slay the Spire at the time, so I did not realize the degree to which it was like that.
I think the only reason I didn't really get into that one as much is because Slay the Spire was, at least at that time, available on Game Pass. So, being a Game Pass subscriber, why would I want to play the rip off, you know.
Right. And let's see, finally we have Karakuri-kun, a Japanese tale. This is a good thing to end on because it is really emblematic of just the weird shit we get.
It was
Because-
very cozy, at least.
True, but it's also what if we had an RPG maker RPG, like a proper RPG maker RPG, which is actually kind of rare these days.
Mm-hmm. And that wasn't trying to be some sort of Nino Kuni or what was that?
Omori,
Yeah.
Yumi Nikki.
That's what I was
like
thinking, Yume Nikki, where it was just trying to rip that off. It was actually something inventive and new.
Yeah, this is actually trying to teach you some basic Japanese culture stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how well it succeeded there, but an attempt was made.
Yeah. I'd rather have a new attempt fall a little flat than just more of the same Yume Nikki clones or what have you.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, I think that'll about do it for the year in review here.
Mm-hmm. There are some other games, but there was a lot of meh.
Yeah. Like, that's every given year.
Yeah.
On that note, we have reached the end of another episode of Fragments of Silicon. Coming up on the week ahead. Actually, a fairly packed week. About as packed as we get. Because on Friday, January 28th, we're pulling double duty. Friday, January 30th. I was looking at the wrong date there. We will be welcoming Connor Rush of Fire Games. Not only have they confirmed, but they were sending us the trailer materials before the show started today. And we'll be talking about their forthcoming game, Project Songbird. Project Songbird is a cinematic first-person narrative horror game set in the Appalachian forest. Take on the role of Dakota, a musician who must record their new album in a remote log cabin amidst a writer's block. Take caution, however, these woods are never empty. So more on that. And Fire Games here also has quite a few of these titles. The Colossus is coming, the interactive experience Into the Unknown. Welcome to the Dreamscape. And yeah, some soundtracks and a teaser for Project Songbird. So 4 games or maybe 3.5. I'm not exactly sure what the Colossus is coming, the interactive experience is comprised of. That's something to ask on Friday. Also happening on Friday, we'll be having multiplayer mayhem over the game Puzzle Parasite. Been a while since we've done one of these. I'm looking forward to it, sort of. Only because I've actually played Puzzle Parasite. It's not bad, but, well, more on that on Sunday, because on the Sunday reviews, we'll be having reviews of Puzzle Parasite. Encounter the Lost Cards. Impressions, actually. This is an early access title. This is the game that had to be subbed in, by the way. Princess of the Water Lilies. And finally, Sopa, Tales of the Stolen Potato. And we do have a new episode of MSP happening fairly soon. So look for that. And until next time, I shall wish you good gaming.